We all remember the feelings we had when we saw this scene for the first time. Thalleous and Sen arrived to the destroyed Sendaria, which as it soon turns out was destroyed by the Voltaris. Thalleous meets Tigern for the second time, they start fighting and... you know what happened after that. This event was completely unexpected because it seemed like a classic duel between the main character and a villain. Nothing suggested that Thalleous would die, and that's why the feeling of sadness was amplified. His death caught everyone off guard, especially because he was a main character. But what if I told you that Thalleous wasn't supposed to die? In today's video, we look at the reasons why, in my opinion, Thalleous should have survived in Season 1, and if he was meant to die, then it should have been in Season 2 or Season 3. And the reason isn't simply because he was our favorite character. So if you haven't seen Songs of War yet, here's a warning: there will be spoilers to Season 1, Season 2 and Season 3. And I'm talking about original scripts, not the rewritten filmed versions, which at the time of making this video don't even exist. So that's all from me for the introduction. But before I begin, I want to thank you for your feedback on this video, which I made just randomly to share my predictions about the upcoming Songs of War spin-off. I'm really glad you liked it. It motivated me to be more active on this channel, and you can definitely look forward to the more videos in this style. So thank you very much. And let's get started. In the video where I talked about my predictions for the Songs of War spin-off, I mentioned that Thalleous' character could have been more developed. In this video, I'll explain specifically in what ways Thalleous could have been a more complete character and reached the potential he had. So aside from the fact that he was our favorite, here are several reasons why Thalleous should have survived. Reason number 1. Relationship with Gallius. Thalleous and Gallius are two very different characters. Despite being brothers, they don't have the best relationship and haven't seen each other for years. The reason was their different views on the use of songs, and their relationship cooled the most when Thalleous injured Gallius with his aggressive song. Despite all these disagreements, when Gallius learns of Thalleus' death, he is hurt and saddened that he'll never see his brother again. But imagine if Thalleous had come to ataraxia. What would Gallius' reaction have been? His brother, who spent his whole life traveling, suddenly comes into his workshop asking for help in defending against the Voltaris. I don't know especially what Thalleous wanted to do in ataraxia, but I assume he was looking for Gallius to ask for help. Gallius, who was a pacifist and didn't even use songs, is suddenly asked for help by an experienced warrior. In the end, he would probably agree because even though he never believed Thalleous' warnings,
part of me believed in him.
Okay, part of you believed in him. It's clear that the Second Great War is inevitable. The Voltaris attacked every Ardoni clan, and in Felden a war against the Necromancers had begun. So Thalleous and Gallius would have to join forces. But how would their cooperation work? I don't think it would be without conflict. Quite the opposite. Thalleous and Gallius would have many disagreements and probably frequent arguments. They would also approach Sen's training differently, which would lead to interesting situations, similar to Pirates of the Caribbean 3, where Jack Sparrow and Barbossa competed to see who was the better captain. Viewers would be divided. Should they agree with Thalleous' perspective or with Gallius' perspective? We would get many engaging moments with characters united by a goal, but with very different approaches. They would have to overcome their conflict together because in the end they are brothers, and in this situation they must stand united. Reason number 2. Relationship with Tidesinger. When Tidesinger passes through the time portal, he is disoriented. He has no idea where, or better said when, he is. Only later does he realize that he has traveled 150 years into the future, and everyone he once knew is gone. He doesn't know what happened during his absence, what the current relations in Ardonia are, and he has no close friend to explain things and help him adjust. The only one who tried to help him a little is Gallius, whom Echelian recognizes only because he has same markings as Thalleous. Otherwise, he doesn't know him. Later, he has to ask Sen to explain what happened after the Great War. Sen, who knows even less about Ardonia's history than about his own origin. But if Thalleous had survived, Echelian would have a friend by his side, someone he knew, and wouldn't have felt so alienated. He would have someone to explain everything that had happened over the last 150 years, along with the added drama. Teitsinger comes to the future unchanged, while his friend, once a young man full of life, is now old. Even though I have to admit for someone over 200, Thalleous' joints hold up pretty well. For Echelian though, it would be a shock to see someone who was once his peer, now so aged. Something like Interstellar. This dynamic could have given us fascinating moments, Thalleous and Echelian learning from each other, Echelian being shocked that even after 150 years Thalleous hadn't changed his mind about the Voltaris clan, and many other situations I won't go into this video. Reason number 3. Relationship with Sen. In the season 1, viewers see Thalleous much like Sen does, as an experienced warrior and hero fighting against evil and serving as the best role model. But over time, Sen's opinion of Thalleous would start to shift. Already in the season 2, Sen would begin to have doubts. How can someone who always stood against evil and knew what was right be estranged from his own brother? Their arguments would unsettle Sen, but he would still learn more toward Thalleous, because although Gallius could provide stronger arguments, Sen didn't know him, while Thalleous had been part of his life all along. The big change in the relationship would come in the season 3, when Sen learns truth about his origins and what Thalleous had done to his clan. Sen realizes that the man he idolized, the one he trusted, had lied to him his whole life and massacred his people. The one he thought was his friend had sworn to destroy his clan, and yet saved Sen as a child for reasons even he couldn't explain. This would lead into a huge confrontation. Sen, full of rage, would demand to know why Thalleous lied to him and why he didn't kill him as a child. And Thalleous, he would have no arguments to justify what he had done. This would be the breaking point when Sen stops trusting Thalleous, regrets ever looking up to him, and is left with two choices. Keep fighting alongside the Knights of Ardonia, knowing who Thalleous really is, and that he would be fighting against his own people, who only want a home, or join the Voltaris. But I won't go deeper into this in this video. All of these points leads to one main reason: character development. Personally, I don't need every character in movies to have character development, and I don't mind if someone are the same at the end as at the beginning. But given Thalleous' history, I think he really needed character development. He dies at the 77th minute of the movie, shortly after the halfway point, but he wasn't even on screen for a full hour because of the other two storylines. That short time simply wasn't enough for any meaningful development, which could have been very interesting. In the season 1, we saw him as a hero and a role model. In the season 2, hints of his dark past would emerge, and both Sen and the viewers would start doubting whether Thalleous was truly the hero he seemed to be. In the season 3, his secret would be revealed, and thanks to conversation
What's going on, Mal? What is going on?
And thanks to conversations with Gallius, Echelian, and finally Sen's reaction, he would start questioning himself whether what he had done was right. And finally, he would truly regret his actions as an Erdoni champion, completing his arc. So, these were the reasons why in my opinion Thalleous should have survived. I'm not saying he should have lived through all 3 seasons, and you may not agree, but I do agree he should die. It makes him a better character, but I believe it should have happened only after he had reached his full potential, which would have been around the middle of the season 3. Of course, I admit his death in the season 1 wasn't bad either, and learning his dark secrets only after his death through those who knew him was exciting and original. But still I think it would have been a bit better and more emotional if it had happened in the season 3. But this is just my opinion, and you may or may not agree. If you don't, I respect that. At some point, I'll definitely make a video where I create a fictional storyline for Thalleous, what would have happened if he had survived, because this video is just a brief summary of the reasons why Thalleous should have survived, and if I were to describe them in detail, this video would be too long. So I will discuss those reasons in more depth along with Thalleous' fictional storyline. I've already started working on it, But I am only on the season 1 so far, and it's already quite long, and I assume it will be about a half-hour video or longer, so I won't go into it here. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Let me know in the comments what you think. If do you agree with me or not, I'd be happy to discuss it with you. So yep, see you next time.